Oh yeah, it's business time. It's business time. It's business. It's business time. That's what you're trying to say. You're trying to say, let's get down to business. It's business time. It's business. It's business time.
So it's come to my attention that I don't give Camera B over here too much love. So I'm going to start this entire episode by looking right over here. There's not even a camera over there. No, we're just right here. Look, eventually, when they're sponsors for this show, the jokes will be funnier. I promise you. What are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about this amazing hat head that I got going. Okay, no. So what are we going to talk about? I want to refine our technique, right? I want to talk about the tools that we use to do our job. Specifically, I want to focus on Adobe Bridge, right? So I'm using Adobe Bridge CS4 on a Mac. I can show you my Mac if you want, but it's a MacBook Pro laptop. It's got I don't know. It's a nice laptop. It's not the greatest laptop, but it does the job. But what I want to talk about, we mentioned this about the business in general, right? What is the process that we use to earn money, right? From getting the event to hiring the photographer, what we expect the photographer to do, etc., 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 right? So I'm going to be going to Amsterdam, right? We talked about that in the last show. I'm thinking about going to Amsterdam. I think I pretty much made up my mind to go. I'm going to go to Amsterdam. I'm going to do the event myself, right? So as I'm walking through that, I need that process to be a lot smoother. I mean, it is painful. It is a painful process to get those photos up online, and I really don't want it to be painful, right? I enjoy taking the shots. I want to enjoy also uploading the shots. So we're going to talk about how to, reduce the level of effort that it takes to upload those photos. Okay, so there's two things that I can think of here, right? First part is getting the photos into Bridge. That is an automated process. You can set that up in the preferences of Adobe Bridge. This is the purpose of this episode is not a software tutorial, but you can set it up so that when you insert, I use one of these. It's a CF card reader, so I use one of these, and so an SD card reader. So what you do is you put it in your laptop, then you put the SD card in here, and it speeds up the process of getting the pictures on your laptop. So that's step number one. Step number two, Adobe Bridge automatically loads it, automatically files it for me in its particular folder, subfolder inside of my pictures directory. So that part's pretty awesome. And I've figured out how to go through them very quickly. Whichever ones are out of focus, I just ignore. Whichever ones I like, I have a rating system, 1-star, 2-star, up to 5-star rating system. And then what we need to do is assign keywords. What I spent a lot of time today doing is looking at how people manage that whole process of keywords. Right? Did you know that you can actually buy keywords? There are companies out there, there are people out there that will sell you popular keywords. Right? We did one episode about search engine optimization. It's a little bit about keywords there too. It's the same, similar type of concept. But really, what I'm looking for is not to buy it. I want to use my own creativity and create these keywords, right? So keyword, I want to talk about keyword hierarchy, right? So if we're talking about Christmas, right? Let's take a better one. Let's say we are taking pictures of a wedding, right? So the wedding is going to have many different components to it, right? Obviously there's two main ones, right? There's the ceremony and there's the reception. Right, so we could have keywords describing a ceremony, right? So obviously church, it would be pastor or priest or person of religious relevance. What's the word I'm looking for here? Anyway, the head dude that has the right to legally marry you, right? You can wrap some keywords around that. You can talk about the pews. You can talk about the location. You can talk about the piano player, the musical arrangements, who does the readings if it's a Christian wedding, things like that. So, where am I going with this, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to create a list of keywords that we want to use, right? That we imagine us being in these situations quite frequently, right? So think about child's birthday party. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some time when I'm sitting on the subway, when I'm commuting, when I'm in an airplane, when I'm somewhere, and I'm just going to write down words that come to my mind. Because we've figured out how to import keywords based off of a hierarchy into Adobe Bridge. So I don't have to sit there and go keyword new, wedding, keyword new, ceremony. What I can do is I can open up Excel or whatever, some outlining tool or text pad, and just drop everything in there. And then I can import it in. I'm going to put the steps on how to do this online inside of the article part of the episode. So I hope you enjoy that. So that is one part, right? Keywords. So after we spend time and we think about these keywords, we assign the keywords to the photos. We imagine we're going to take the similar types of event shots, right? We're event photographers, we're wedding photographers, and birthday photographers. Then we got to get this stuff online, right? So tag it, bag it, and then upload it, right? So we want to make sure this stuff gets to Flickr. Flickr has its own tool, right? So the Flickr uploader. A lot of people use the Flickr uploader. It has a nice little GUI. Personally, I think there's some improvements that can happen on the GUI, but this is not a software development series. This is a how do we use the Flickr tool. But what's interesting is that inside of Bridge, you can open the photos with the Flickr uploading tool. So what does it do? Right, it takes the photos that you have selected in Bridge, either by rating, by keyword, whatever means you're using to group the photos. Then what you can do is say open with the Flickr uploader tool, and then all of those get uploaded to Flickr with the keywords attached to it. You can create your own set, whatever, your own album, however it is that you want to do it, and really smooths that process down. I think that as a general rule, the easier a process is, the more likely you are to do it. And so, I've personally, I'm guilty of it too, right? I can count on more than these two hands worth of fingers how many times I've promised to upload sets of photos for you, and I still haven't done it, right? That's my bad, right? I need to get better at that process. So hopefully spending some time and refining that process really is going to help us out in the long term. So little tips and tricks episode for you. On that note, Global Citizen out.